Hi and welcome to the last in my series of videos on sentence fragments or incomplete sentences. That is the F in my system SCARFS. So as I said in an earlier video, I thought a good way to finish off would be to just do a think aloud, which is where I've got a passage of writing and we just work through it together, and as I work I will think aloud so that you can see which sentence fragments are okay because they're deliberate and they have some sort of impact, and so it's a stylistic choice, and which ones are just plain wrong and should be changed for the sake of clarity. Okay, so here's our sentence. Betty paused in the doorway. Nothing wrong with that, it's a complete sentence. Breathing hard, heart pounding. Okay, so we've got two incomplete sentences here, or sentence fragments, breathing hard and heart pounding. To fix that, we could bring the two things together and say she was breathing hard, and then we've got our subject, and then join them together, and her heart was pounding. But I actually think we'll leave this one because, you know, this is a piece of creative writing, and the sentence fragments there actually help to sort of mimic the anxiety, the panic that Betty is feeling at this point as she pauses at the doorway. Breathing hard, heart pounding. It works for me. Whereas this, she was breathing hard and her heart was pounding, while grammatically correct, kind of loses that emotional punch for me. So I'm going to give these a big tick and we're going to leave them. Okay, she didn't know what she'd find inside. That is a complete sentence. Although she'd been here before. This is a sentence fragment. Okay, although she'd been here before, and you can tell because it's starting with the although. So what we've got there is a dependent clause. Although she'd been here before, what? It leaves us hanging. Okay, so we could fix this. Well, we're going to have to fix this. This is a one that must be fixed. So while those two can stay, this one cannot. So she didn't know what she'd find inside, although she'd been here before. So I think what the writer is trying to say is that even though she knew the place, she still felt like she wasn't sure what was going to be inside. So I actually think we might sort of turn these ones around a bit, okay, and then have a new sentence that is something like, although she'd been here before, and then we've got the so what, although she'd been here before, she still wasn't sure what she'd find, something like that, or what to expect. Okay, and then we get the fact that it's a familiar place, but she's feeling nervous still. Okay, so we've left that fragment, fixed this fragment. Right, let's keep going. The room was dim and silent. That's a complete sentence. That's fine. The bookshelf in the corner. That is an incomplete sentence. Covered in dust. Well, covered in dust sounds incomplete as well. And those two feel like they should come together. So that's pretty easy fix. So we're going to say we've got two fragments here, but we are not going to leave them. So we would go the bookshelf in the corner, and this would be as simple as just joining them, was, get rid of the full stop, and make that lowercase, was covered in dust. Okay, and so then we end up with a better passage. Betty paused in the doorway, breathing hard, heart pounding. Although she'd been here before, she still wasn't sure what to expect. The room was dim and silent. The bookshelf in the corner was covered in dust. Okay, we want to know what came next. All right, so that's just to show you that fragments can be your friend, they can work, but they need to be deliberate and not just a mistake. Okay, that's the end of my series on fragments. Thank you.